What's up, troops? How's it going? I'm Craig, a former British Army soldier, and welcome to Combat Ready HQ. I just want to talk about that I was possibly wrong, and maybe the UK is in a much different place to when I joined the army back in 2006. People are not as proud or patriotic due to a number of reasons. If you look, if we just go over this slightly, I did a video on the UK is doomed, and I talk about how people should be willing to want to fight for their country, and I was willing to want to fight for their country. And we are already invaded. Look around. Never defend the flag you cannot wave. I'm 33 now, and I look around me day to day that the answer of whether I would fight is a resounding no. And he goes on. 30 years of service in the military and the police. This country I served when I joined up no longer exists. Stationed in Germany for my whole career. Every time I came back to the UK on leave, I would see it had changed for the worst. We've already been invaded with men on blown up boats in the English Channel. Who the hell would go and fight on the Russian front? I'm ex-army. I won't fight or tell anyone else to. My other video. Armed Forces numbers and stats are in critical condition. You can't treat the British working class like shit, then expect them to defend the rich political class way of life. Who join now? Fight for a country that looks after people arriving illegally. It goes on. People. Where is it? Currently a section commander in the infantry, and it's a real struggle to keep blokes motivated, let alone myself. Something radical needs to happen to show the blokes the country cares, the government backs them. Oh my God, I think I was completely wrong. It is in a much worse situation than we thought. And I'd love to know your thoughts on this. I have noticed the changes over the years, don't get me wrong. The Tories, decreasing the military, making the cuts, amalgamating regiments, massive issues. Whether you're a Tory fan or not, I don't care which political party you vote for or not. I have my opinions. I think those who voted Labour have really screwed us over, in my personal opinion. But if you do vote for them, I'll still talk to you, have a debate with you. I've got friends who voted Labour, etc. But I'd love to know, has this been a more recent thing, sort of when Labour have come into power? Do you feel your mind has changed, the way they've sort of possibly let the nation down? Or is this a decision that you've had over the last few years, and it is just generally the government has completely changed to those when we're back in, say, like the 80s with good old Maggie Thatcher, and people were proud of the UK. Also, I've got a few points here where, this may be why you feel like that you no longer want to fight. And if I'm correct, please comment below. I'm really interested to know. Like I said in my previous videos, I think everyone should join the army, experience the army that gives you, travel the world. I'm very proud of my country, yes. I don't like certain things the government do, but I'm proud to be British, and I would always defend my family and friends, especially if they come to our shores. But we've got number one, loss of national identity. Do many British people feel that their national identity is under threat? Centuries of tradition, culture, and pride in British values seem overshadowed by external influences and internal division. For a nation built on unity and resilience, the erosion of these values feels like a call to action. People want to protect what it means to be British, a heritage of strength, fairness, and sovereignty. Inclusive, equality, and diversity. Cool, but should we be trying to maintain our British traditions and sovereignty and our heritage a little bit more? Comment below. Frustration with political leadership, massive one. Disillusionment with political leadership has led many to feel their voices are not being heard. Decisions made in Westminster often feel detached from the needs of ordinary citizens. A lack of trust in politicians to safeguard the nation's interest motivates people to take matters into their own hands, reigniting their willingness to fight for a government that reflects the will of the people. Does this sound a little bit like you? Are you agreeing with these points? Please comment below. Economic challenges, inequality, rising cost of living, stagnant wages, and growing inequality have left many British people feeling abandoned. They are frustrated with policies that appear to favour corporations and elites over the working class. Fighting for the country about fighting for fairness, opportunity, ensuring that every citizen has a chance. Cost of living is a massive issue, and we know the government are not helping. They're helping themselves, they're helping their friends, and I do get why people would not want to fight for a government who aren't willing to look out for their pensioners, their children, their own people. So I do totally agree. Defending freedoms and values. The UK is deeply rooted in values of freedom, democracy and human rights. When these principles feel under threat, whether from within or outside, many citizens feel duty to rise and defend them. Protecting these freedoms for future generations becomes a driving force behind the readiness to fight for the country. These are just a few points that from the research I've done of why some people may not want to fight. A desire for national pride. For many, the UK's rich history and global impact are sources of immense pride. When they perceive these pride being undermined through mispresentation or self-doubt, the drive to restore Britain's reputation motivates action. British people want to feel proud of their country once again and are willing to fight for their sentiments. Please let me know if some of these sort of ring a bell with you, and whether you are, at a point where something needs to be done. We will always have people that want to join the military. There's always that group that just no matter what will want to join. So we're never going to get to a point where we completely have no one being recruited. But are numbers going to continue to dwindle? Are they going to continue to decrease? Because people just do not feel a sense of pride for their country. They don't want to fight for a government. They don't want to be sent to war for a government who they feel constantly lie to them. Treat them poorly. I totally get it now. I've been reading all the points. I've been doing the research. I still feel a massive sense of pride for being British, and obviously I'd served for 16 years and I got to experience some amazing things. I think everyone should be able to experience that. But what you see in the news, what you see in the world, what you see is going on in the UK, I do have to agree. I obviously don't agree with a lot of it, and I feel if this continues, we're going to get to a point where numbers are going to be so low, retention's going to be so low, the numbers are just going to continue to drop. And then we're going to get to a point where we aren't going to be able to turn it around and our armed forces may just fall apart. Okay, we're already at extremely low numbers. But I'd be very interested to know what your thought is on this. Here's just a little bit of a chat. Me going, looks like I'm wrong. Putting some points out there. I'd love for a conversation to start. Down below and hear what you've got to say, hear what everyone else has got to say. Remember, constructive points, don't be rude, but I'm always interested to hear what you've got to say. So please comment below if sort of any of these comments sort of resonate with you, and whether we are at sort of a point where there is no going back, and unless something happens drastically with the PM and the government and the way that our armed forces and our citizens are treated. But thank you for watching. I'll catch you soon.